One of the companies I worked for early in my accounting career was a place called Stewart Jackson Sprinklers. It was on Normandie Avenue, just north of, I believe it's Torrance Boulevard. The building and stuff is still there. It's now a plumbing company. It was on the east side of the street. And actually, Stewart Jackson Sprinklers was there a number of years before I started working there. And then afterwards, it's like it was there for many years. It was in business there, and I think eventually one of the brothers actually ended up doing it from home and stuff. And now it's a plumbing company, and it's probably been a plumbing company. I think they put a new sign up maybe 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. Anyway, the Stewart Jackson Sprinklers, they hired me as their accountant. There was a woman there that worked in the office. Her name is Doris Geffert. And I got to know her really well. She was a great person, I remember her being heavily involved in politics, and I was working there. It's like I was working there when Reagan was elected, because she was a big Reagan supporter, so she was thrilled. But the place was owned by Nolton Jackson. I don't know what happened to Stewart, the guy whose last name was Stewart. He was long gone. I guess he got bought out by Nolton Jackson. And 10% of it was owned by Mike Islander, and his brother Kevin worked there too, Kevin Islander. They both did. I know that Kevin did a lot of the sprinkler work and stuff. He was one of the guys. I think they had probably about a total of maybe 25 employees. That, and then they had the trucks and stuff. I wish I had a picture of the trucks, with the design and stuff on the sprinkler system, and it was kind of neat, but I don't have a picture of that. But they repaired and installed sprinkler systems, and they also did some other kind of work. I can't remember what it was offhand, some kind of backup system or something. And let's see. So I was hired as the accountant, and it's like I said, it was probably like 81, 82, somewhere in there. It's like I can't remember when. I think he was elected president when he was 80. Anyway, so I was working there. It's like, and it was a fun job. It was the books were manual. I liked all the people there. What I was going to say, it's like let me look at my notes here. Stewart Jackson Sprinklers. There was it's like when I first started working there, Nolton Jackson actually wanted me to get rid of it, not fire, but let somebody go after I first got there, and it was somebody that wasn't actually working for me, because I didn't really have anybody reporting to me, but he wanted me to do it for some reason. It's like why are you dumping it on me? And that's one of the things I remember right about it. And also, and I'll have to go into more information about this in a separate video that I want to talk about. But while I was working there, Nolton Jackson was married to a woman named, I can't think of her name now. It's like, but she was one of Mary Ann Jackson. She was actually she was working for McMartin Preschool in Manhattan Beach. And if that sounds familiar to you, it's because there was a huge headline story about what happened what actually did not happen at the preschool. That they were all charged with, all the teachers and the owners were charged with child molesting and so on. And it was a big, huge story that broke around 82, 83, 84, somewhere in there. I was not, when they were arrested and so on, I wasn't working there. I was like a year or two out and working somewhere else a couple of years later. And I saw it on the news, and it's like I saw on the news, I'm laying in bed, and I remember, it's like I was living in a mobile home, and I was, like bedrooms in the back, I kind of remember sitting up, looking at it, because I recognized the woman that was, there, Mary Ann Jackson, and she was on the news, and she was one of the original defendants. And I'll talk more, like I said, more about that later, but that was one of the terrible things that happened to those people there. So anyway, it was, I really enjoyed going there. It's like I just recently found Mike Islander's son on I think it's on Nextdoor.com. On Nextdoor.com, I connected with him, you know, and I told him to say hello to his dad and his uncle for me because I hadn't seen them. They actually, when I got married in 1988, I invited Doris and her husband, and also I know Mike was there with his wife, or soon-to-be wife, was also there at my wedding reception. Because I only had like maybe 25, 30 people at the wedding reception, but I made sure that, you know, because I felt close to them, so I invited them to my wedding. So that's some interesting stuff about Stewart Jackson sprinklers. And actually, you know, there was like a little office next door, and there was a guy at the time that was doing some kind of dental type work, not on people, but it was like, you know, he would do, I guess, back then, crowns and stuff, or some kind of dental, you know, implants or something. You know, it's like he was working next door, and he actually created them. So I remember that too. And then there was another incident too. I almost forgot. There was what I call the Tasha incident. My Bouvier de Flanders. A couple times I took her to work and stuff, and she's a really nice dog and everything. She was a really nice dog, but she kind of went after the male woman that came in. She didn't go and bite her and stuff, but the male woman got scared, and she fell because she got scared of the dog, even though my dog didn't actually attack her or anything. And I still remember that, and I still feel really bad about it, that she was, you know, that she fell and everything. It's like I just, you know, I never took my dog to work after that, and I shouldn't have taken her to begin with. That was not a good idea. So it's like I learned something from that. You know, it's like I was kind of immature at the time. So, but I'm sure she came back to work and everything eventually. And she was okay. We were told that she was okay. You know, so she wasn't injured. So that's it. And I think that's it for the Stewart Jackson, at least for now. And I'll tell you more about the whole McMartin preschool thing later.